If you are an active learner in SaaS or you're working in SaaS, you definitely know AWS, Amazon Web Services. Today, I have a special guest. He is one of the founding member of AWS SaaS Boost. AWS SaaS Boost is the initiative of AWS for helping global SaaS startups, helping them in business, helping them in product, helping them in go-to-market strategy, and he is the part of that great initiative. Right now, he is principal of SaaS business lead and helping so many SaaS startup. He is doing so many conversation, and he know in and out of entire AWS SaaS post plan. Today we are going to talk about what AWS is doing, how anyone can start career in SaaS, how anyone can join AWS, and what his theory about the SaaS and what is SaaS as per the AWS and as per him. So Mr. Akshay Patel is our guest today, and we are going to have a wonderful conversation with him. Hi, Akshay. Welcome on the SaaS talk.
Hey, Pratik, thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah. So, Akshay, we all know that SaaS is, very hot topic right now. But before starting, I wanted to know from you that what is the definition of SaaS? What you think? What is SaaS?
Yeah, if you search the internet, you'll find many different definitions. You talk to a lot of people, you'll find many different definitions. So at AWS, we have a very specific definition, and this comes from the years of experience that we have. And so for us, SaaS is actually, or software as a service, is actually a business and a software delivery model. It's all about delivering a low friction, service centric approach to customers, working backwards from customers, their experience, and in turn, building a model as a business and a technical team for agility, operational efficiency, and really to drive growth and reach and innovation at scale. So that's really what the definition of SaaS is for us at AWS.
Wow, this is very deep and technical definition. Thank you so much. So, now the thing is like what you do, right, in AWS and what is SaaS Factory?
Yeah, so I'm a part of a team called AWS SaaS Factory. We're a team that was put together in 2017. So we had a lot of customers coming to us and saying, hey, you guys have a lot of different services on AWS and you continue to add more services. So how do you take all these services and put them together, right? And how do you build SaaS? So one of the things we recognized when working with customers and working backwards from them is when customers were asking us about how do you build SaaS, it wasn't only the technical pieces, it wasn't only AWS services, it was also our partner services that they were also asking about. But as we dug deeper and we started talking to the technical teams, we realized that there is an opportunity to also work with business teams. So SaaS Factory was born, launched in 2017. We're a team of both business and technical experts with operational experience in SaaS. We saw that what that really means is we've burnt our fingers, we've done all the mistakes, but along the way, we've learned to work with customers, whether it's startup, early stage, or whether it's a large organization like NASDAQ. We're really looking to help them build and transform SaaS in the cloud. Now, my role as one of those team members is from the business aspect. So all of our conversations start with the business team members, predominantly product management, but it extends into sales, marketing, finance, product teams, uh, accounting teams. On what does it mean for a business to transform, or what does it mean for a team to build a SaaS company and then scale it? And once we have the business requirements on what growth means and what scale means, we take all those business requirements and then they get translated into a SaaS architecture model. So when SaaS Factory engages with customers and partners, we're working backwards from the business requirements. We're trying to figure out where they are in that journey, because every journey for every company going into SaaS, whether it's new product or transforming, is very different. And then as we start working through that, we really look at the different pieces of what they've invested over the years or what they're looking to do, and we will recommend partner solutions, AWS services, to really help them do that and build organizations with customer success. How do you do pricing, packaging? How do you do go to market? How do you do free trials and product led growth? What are metrics? What are financial models? And we go deep into those topics. And so what we do as a global team is we publish a lot of business and technical content. We make it available for free. So if you go to our website, the SaaS Factory's website on AWS, you'll see we are publishing a lot of content, whether it's deep in a very specific area or pretty broad. We continue to publish more and more as we learn from various customers. And we also publish reference architectures. As I mentioned, that the architectures look also very different. So as we've gained experience through working with different customers and different use cases, we've found patterns, and so we've built all these patterns and we've open sourced them. And then we also go into deep advisory. We have a global team of SaaS competency partners, and these are really companies and partners who help accelerate the journey to SaaS on AWS. So yeah, that's what SaaS Factory does and what I do.
Wow, wow. I am amazed to see this that this is what is happening in AWS for the SaaS industry, and this is something what makes me more excited towards the SaaS, right? One thing I just wanted to counter one question in this or SaaS factory, do you also do kind of cohorting where you are teaching people that how they should do, what kind of business they can do? Because everybody is coming with a any SaaS idea, right? But not every SaaS startup is getting bigger and they're not making numbers like Salesforce or HubSpot or some other solutions. So do you also have any kind of learning programs for founders or any people who wanted to learn SaaS or something?
Yeah, we actually do. We have a self-service model where you can come and learn some specific topics, but often we will run accelerators. We will partner with venture capital. So one that I run annually in India is one with Prime Ventures called SaaS Central. We've done it for the past 3 years for early stage companies, and we will bring in other SaaS founders who've actually gone through that experience for them to share their own experience. We've got a lot to share, but we really want other founders to learn from that. We have other accelerator programs globally. We also do deep advisory. So we now also have dedicated teams in India. We've had them for some time now who are solely focused on SaaS. So it doesn't matter which industry or what vertical you're trying to solve for. There is resources dedicated because we do believe that SaaS is a business model that's growing. It is. We know that from analysts like IDC that SaaS is the number one digital transformation strategy. So we're seeing a lot of different customer requests, and so we continue to invest in the success of all companies. So whether you're a startup or a scaling company or a transforming company, the other thing that we also do is we have this program called AWS Activate. So a lot of startups can go and register for Activate, and if you're VC backed or early stage or bootstrap, you will get a lot of resources there and support and credits to help you with your SaaS journey. So that's something that we do across the globe for our startup teams, and we also help with go to market. So one of the biggest challenges with a lot of startups is how do you actually reach customers at scale? So in addition to helping with best practices of go to market, we also do go to market through programs like our AWS Marketplace, right? It's a way for startups to reach customers at scale at a global level. And it's a interesting journey. It's one of the more successful ways to market as well. So there are lots of different programs, lots of different support, whether it's self-service or you're looking for direct support. There's lots and lots of opportunity, both on the business and technology side within AWS.
Wow, this is very helpful for lots of people in India who are trying to build SaaS companies. So, Akshay, I was going through your LinkedIn, right, and I saw that you are talking lots about SaaS architectures, right? What are these? Can you put light on those?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, as part of our SaaS factory experience, we see a lot of common uh, patterns. And what we've done is we've taken all our learnings and best practices and built these what we call open source SaaS reference architectures. So reference architectures. So all of these are open sourced. So let me kind of walk you through some of those. So we had customers who had, quickly put solutions together, monoliths, and so one of the things we identified is how do you actually take a traditional monolith software and move it to a SaaS model? So for this particular use case, we built this prescriptive guided experience called AWS SaaS Boost. So version one of AWS SaaS Boost was you clone your SaaS Boost software, you launch it in your AWS account. It takes over 30 AWS services and it puts together this experience for you, this framework for you, and it deploys a UI where you as a SaaS provider can configure and manage to upload your monolithic solution, and then it allows you to get into a SaaS model quickly in what we call a siloed SaaS model. So this was one of the initial V1 targets we were going after, right? And you can imagine whether it's a startup or a software company who's got a traditional software or prototyping really quickly. This is something you can use to test your market very quickly, right?
Right.
Recently, we then expanded that to version 2. So version 2 of SaaS Boost now supports more use cases. So we had customers saying, well, my software isn't really monolith. It's microservices, or it's virtualized, or it's containerized. So SaaS Boost
Right.
takes our technology from the ECS, and it really helps containerize. You containerize it, you upload it. You could be running and experimenting within hours or days or weeks, depending on your skill set. So that's SaaS Boost. We had other customers come and tell us, well, our choice of technology is Kubernetes. The use case being able to deploy containers across different use cases. So we built this reference architecture called EKS SaaS reference architecture. So once again, it's solely based on Kubernetes, on EKS SaaS, on EKS. We built best practices. We built a workshop around that, so it's a self-paced workshop. You can learn what it means to build a Kubernetes-based SaaS architecture and how do you deploy that. So that's what EKS based. But even beyond that, we had a lot of customers, especially a lot of startups building new SaaS solutions. They're really interested in serverless SaaS. So we then also built the third reference architecture. It's called the serverless SaaS reference architecture. And the whole point of that is, how do you actually build the multi-tenant SaaS framework architecture best practices using serverless technologies? So what we've done is EKS, serverless, and moving your traditional to much more modernized SaaS application. So we try to cover a lot of different technologies based on what we've heard from customers.
So many things is happening. I cannot even imagine that AWS is doing so many things and just to pushing the entire SaaS boost which is happening across the world, right? So if I ask you that, what AWS is doing for India, like is there any opportunity how AWS are helping for Indian SaaS startups? Because now India is the third largest SaaS exporter across globe, right? And very soon it will, overcome the China and become the second one, right? So what AWS is doing for India?
Yeah. So I've believed in the opportunity for India for a very long time. As a personal passion, my own personal passion, I'm very bullish on companies building SaaS solutions. And we see this, right? There's companies like Freshworks, there's companies like Rocket Lane, MindTickle, a lot of very prestigious, very well established companies building SaaS. Not even the first time. A lot of these companies are second time, third time founders building SaaS. So you're probably right to identify that the opportunity for SaaS in India is really huge. And if you think about history of India as an export provider of software services, one of the biggest challenges I hear from a lot of companies is talent. And India probably has the biggest pool of talent. And I think a lot of students coming out of school, a lot of uh, experts, a lot of experienced people who are looking to move to SaaS, it's the right opportunity. I think SaaS is very early in its stages, even more so for India. I really believe that the technologies that are being developed these days, whether it's serverless, AI, ML, is still very new. So the opportunity for India to build SaaS and become a global player is real, right? And it's still very new, and I think there's lots and lots of opportunity for SaaS across the globe. And I think we're talking a lot about SaaS today. If I look at myself 2-3 years from now, I want to stop talking about SaaS. And the real reason is because SaaS is just going to become a de facto business model over time, and everybody's going to be doing SaaS. So really excited to help early stage people interested in SaaS or people interested in scaling their SaaS solutions to be successful. And as I mentioned earlier on, the India team and the global AWS team, we've invested and we continuously to invest in customers being successful with SaaS on AWS, regardless of which industry you're in, regardless of which technology, regardless of which phase you're in. We think it's a business model that's resilient. And we've seen this, right? A lot of SaaS companies have been resilient through COVID, through difficult times. And the reason for that is it's a model that gives you agility, right? So if you go back to your first question, what is SaaS? one of the things that we believe SaaS promotes is agility, growth, reach. So what is a better business model than the traditional model of shipping software and packing it with professional services, right? So I think, yeah, SaaS is real.
Nice, nice. So, Akshay, when I started working in SaaS, right? So, one thing which is everyone know, right? AWS is the pioneer in SaaS, right? Because of AWS, there's so many things can be happened, and there's so many things happening in SaaS just because of AWS. And you are sitting on top of this all, SaaS top line, right? You know how you have seen that how SaaS has evolved. So, if anyone wanted to start a career in SaaS, what you are suggesting, how anyone can start career in SaaS?
Yeah, Pratik, let me kind of give you my own experience. So I never started my career in SaaS. My background is electrical engineering. So, now imagine that journey, right? From electrical engineering to to really advising SaaS business and technical leaders globally in moving to this business model. So the advice I would give to anyone in any stage of their career looking to move to SaaS or even grow in SaaS is really think about what SaaS is all about. So if you think about the definition of SaaS, it's what SaaS promotes is a low friction, customer centric approach, right? It's very powerful few words. And if you think about the experience that you can deliver as a SaaS solution provider, it's about the experience. It's about working backwards from customers. It's about being obsessed about customers, right? We have a leadership principle at AWS, which is which is all about being customer obsessed. And SaaS really is that business model. So think about the journey from when you have, all of us have probably used some kind of SaaS solution right out there. It's how do you discover it? How do you learn about it? What is this really solving? How do I try it? How do I buy it? How do I expand my usage in this particular SaaS solution? So if you think about the customer journey and you're thinking about your career, where you want to be, now you've really placed yourself in the opportunity, right? So you could think about doing SaaS as a marketing person. Think about growth marketing. How do you drive really crisp, clear messaging? You could think about your position in sales. There's lots of different flavors of SaaS today, right? So product-led growth, sales-led growth, product-led sales, whatever you want to. Tomorrow there'll be something new that somebody's going to come up with. But it's all about how do you deliver with product and your role in helping deliver that best experience. The other one I would recommend is uh, product management. This there's the skill set of product management is also changing rapidly. So product management, typically a lot of people think about product management as a single definition, like it's a person who delivers product. But the flavors of product management are changing. Are you a growth product manager? Are you an expansion growth product manager? Are you a platform product manager? So getting a product management job, very similar to what my background is, also a hot topic. The other one is customer success, right? A lot of people forget that once you buy a product, that's not the end of the journey. That's actually the beginning of the journey. Working with customers to really understand what value you're driving and expanding their usage and really making them successful, right? So going back to a customer success role, whether you're in finance and SaaS or whatever, there's lots of different opportunities. But if you look at a lot of different podcasts, you listen, you read books, and you look at different thought leadership in SaaS within AWS and outside AWS, a lot of people you'll find yourself that you as an individual, you have a passion for something. And if you take that passion and you work backwards from your own personal growth, which I think is my number one criteria of growth before SaaS, is you can find yourself in any one of those positions, right? Don't be afraid. I think, one of the best experiences I had was I started off in a customer facing role. Whether you're engineering, whether you're a developer, that based on your cloud. So whatever opportunity you have to talk to customers, to understand their pain point, to listen to what their pain point is and experience it with them and innovate on their behalf is really how you get into SaaS. So this is my personal opinion of how you start careers in SaaS.
Perfect, and this is what I have also believe, like if you have passion, you can definitely do whatever you want to do, even in SaaS. It's not about coding and developing softwares. There's so many other non-technical role which you can do.
Yeah,
Akshay, I just wanted to ask last question. I read a line in your profile, right? A successful SaaS offer can also kill a company. Can you please explain this
yeah.
line for all of our viewers?
Yeah, it's a line that I really enjoy. I get a lot of attention with that specific line. So what it's talking about is when you operate a SaaS company, whether you're launching it or whether you're scaling it or whether you're scaled and you're transforming again, a lot of SaaS companies can fail. Um, and one of the reasons for that is, well, actually, there's two main reasons. The first reason I would say is losing sight of your customer experience, what you're solving, who you're solving for, and building an organization that moves away from that mantra, right? So moving away from being super customer obsessed is one key indicators of a path to failure. The other one is, what does that mean? And how do you really do this, right? And the what I tell everybody that the pulse of any SaaS company are metrics. So building your metrics, evolving your metrics, refining your metrics, questioning your metrics, and then modifying them to where you are in your stage of your SaaS company is very, very important. It goes through with pricing packaging models, it goes through with your organizational structures, it goes through with your priorities and strategies. So metrics is what tells you what's happening in your business, right? You'll find opportunities in your business, you'll find failures in your business. So what I've seen and also experienced is when there's been a lack of really identifying the right metrics, evolving them, questioning them as an organization, it is a path to failure. And there's been examples where I've seen customers who have actually sold to customers and they've also uh, failed to understand what it takes to deliver the service, meaning what it takes to really deliver a great onboarding experience. And because of this failure, it has been a path to disaster. There's been customers who've actually left the service even before they've started using or paying the service. So really thinking about that experience across the entire journey, as I mentioned, from discover, try, onboard, use, expand, or even renew your contracts or renew your offers or even buy or expand. Those are all different points in your customer journey. If you don't have the right metrics and the right organization, the right development, the right innovation, it's a path to failure. And it's really sad, but it's real. It's definitely an area that I see potential of lots of failure.
Wow, wow. Thank you, Akshay, for bringing all this insight in front of us. Is there any book suggestion you wanted to give to our viewers? Like, if anyone wanted to know about more SaaS and AWS?
Pratik, I'll have to think about this one.
No
um,
issue, no issue.
there's so many. I sort of hesitate to kind of recommend one, and the reason I hesitate to do that is I myself am a passionate reader, avid reader. I'm always picking up a new book, whether it's strategy, whether it's deep technical expertise, whether it's customer success. There's so much content and content out there, but the context of why you're looking into it is super important, right? I think I think for me, the biggest the biggest excitement around SaaS is really looking at various companies and what they're doing, and not necessarily replicating what they're doing because their path to that point is very different. But it's really understanding what's working, what isn't working. And there's lots of books. I mean, whether you're talking about product-led growth, whether you're talking about transformation, whether you're talking about strategy, whether you're talking about pricing and packaging, lots of great books. Um, One that immediately comes to mind, pricing innovation. One of the hottest topics I get is actually how do you price, how do you package, right? And I
Right.
and I it's a conversation I can have for hours. So pricing innovation from Simon Kucher is definitely one of the books I recommend. But there's so many books that I would suggest. Um, Pratik, maybe it's a LinkedIn post that I should sort of put out there. I don't know.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. Yeah, and if you're interested in all kinds of SaaS, definitely follow me on LinkedIn. Once in a while, I post these things called SaaS ramblings. And where those SaaS ramblings come from is experience and conversations I'm having day to day. And it's really about bite-sized content which really thinks about what are some realities of what's going on, right? And what does it really mean? Because sometimes theoretical content is theoretical, but when you think about it from a practical, operational purpose, it's very different. So really, it's insights without giving away too much on what are some real things happening in industry and conversations that I'm having with customers.
Yeah, definitely. Now, lots of viewers will follow you on LinkedIn and they are going to DM you also. That is for sure.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Always happy to mentor passionate individuals.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Akshay, for joining. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for having me. And it's a good topic, Pratik, that you're working on. It's career development is definitely a passion area for me. I should probably do more there. Getting into SaaS is just one piece of it, but individual growth is something that I really enjoy. So thank you for having me.